Hey guys, Ajay Menon here, and welcome back to my channel AM Talk Sport. Let's get right into it after a fascinating 3 days of European football. Maza aa gaya yaar. I mean, the Champions League, Europa League, and the Europa Conference League are the competitions to go to. And what results, man, across the three competitions and intense football action for 3 days. I think as a football fan, this was, an absolute lottery to have. And these were the first legs of the quarterfinals. And yes, I wish that the away goals had been there. Some of the results had been, would have been fantastic, especially considering the second leg is there to play. But nevertheless, it is what it is, and let's get right into the thick of action, starting with Liverpool Atalanta. What a freaking result for Atalanta, man! I mean, most of the fans who follow European football know that Atalanta are a team to be reckoned with. एंड हमें तो पता ही है, मैं तो सेरिया फैन हूँ, हमको तो मतलब आदत है कि साला Atalanta lost to Cagliari on the weekend but showed up against Anfield, which is not a surprise because that wily old fox Giancarlo Gasperini has been doing it for quite a while now, and he always leaves the best for the bigger teams, so called, in Serie A and in Europe as well. And Atalanta have beaten Liverpool. I think it was the COVID year when they beat Liverpool in the Champions League, and Atalanta were minutes away from knocking PSG out, and that Champions League run was fantastic. And I think they've beaten Everton also in the past in the Europa League. So my point is that Atalanta cannot be underestimated, and Jurgen Klopp found out the hard way, and they totally deserved the 3-0 victory, man. I mean, I think they were better in the 50-50s. They were always first the ball. They showed that hunger and desire, and rightfully came out 3-0 victors. And kudos to Gianluca Mancini. I hope that he gets called up for Italy. I hope Spalletti was watching, and I hope that he gets a rightful call up and leads the line for the Azzurri in the Euros. For Liverpool, though, they need to produce another remontada like they did against Barcelona and Milan in the past. They need to do that in Bergamo, which is a very difficult place to go to, the Gevis Stadium. They've just refurbished the stadium, and the stands are much closer to the ground. It's a modern stadium. Very few, teams in Serie A can boast of modern stadiums, and Atalanta are one of them. So yeah, I think Liverpool are going to find it very difficult. The work is cut out. And if Atalanta score first, then it's going to take one heck of a comeback. But if Liverpool score first, they'll always believe because they have history on the side. So it's going to be a very interesting second leg. And here's what I was talking about. Away goal रहता था ना, तो और मजा आता था because Atalanta के पास में इस वक्त 3 away goal रहता था, and it would have been a very interesting clash. But nevertheless, I think Atalanta shouldn't be very overconfident, especially against this Liverpool side. So it's going to be a fascinating time in 1 week's fascinating tie in 1 week's time when we head to Italy for the second leg. Moving on to the second game, but let me have a bit of coffee first. It's very early in the morning when I'm recording this. So yeah, just a sec. Nice. This was sponsored by Nescafe Gold. No, it wasn't. But nevertheless, let's move on to the second game of the Europa League. And my team, of course, Roma, coming out with an unlikely 1-0 away win. I would say unlikely because I'm not an eternal optimist. I'm a realist, and I think in the form that Milan are in right now, and especially given Roma's record against the bigger teams, especially against the Milan sides at the San Siro, it was a mountain to climb. Very, very surprised and very happy for De Rossi, of course. He really pulled out a tactical masterclass. Playing El Shaarawy on the right to neutralize, Rafael Leao and Theo Hernandez along with Zeki Celik was a masterclass. I think no one saw it coming. I think even Pioli came out and said, "कि भाई ये El Shaarawy right में तो मैंने कभी सोचा ही नहीं था." And I think that is what it takes to be a good coach. De Rossi showing signs of it. He's not there yet, but very, very refreshing to see. I think Roma fought and the Lukaku offside, onside, it was clearly onside. Just go back and look at the images that led to the corner. And once again, Gianluca Mancini. It's Gianluca Mancini's world, and we're just living in it. I mean, scoring the goal against Lazio to become a derby hero, followed up by this another header, glancing header that too from Dybala's corner. So fantastic break. And I think even under Jose Mourinho in the first season, we were good in set pieces, but I think we lost that kind of midway during his tenure. But yeah, I mean, you have Pellegrini, you have Dybala, who are excellent. I would say excellent on dead ball situations, and we have large setbacks like Smalling and Mancini, who are good in the air. So the recipe is there to be a good set piece team, and a 1-0 away win, I take it as it comes. My heart was in my mouth for 1 second when Chukwueze just danced past the entire defense, and Giroud, on his right foot, weaker right foot, hit it on the crossbar. But otherwise, just long range shots from Milan, and 1-0 was very unexpected, and I don't think so. This tie is far from over. I still think Milan are favorites to win. I still feel that maybe we will have a penalty shootout as well at the Olimpico after full time. But yeah, all is left to play, and Roma must be feeling very, very happy coming out with a 1-0 win, and all to play for at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome in 1 week's time. Quite happy. All right, last couple of games in the Europa League. Leverkusen beating West Ham 2-0. To be honest, I think the way that West Ham set up is the way that other teams should mimic, the way that the three at the back sat and held the fort for 80 odd minutes before finally Leverkusen broke through. मतलब David Moyes को कुछ भी बोलो यार, he is I mean underappreciated. He's been there for so long. When I started watching football, I remember he was the Everton manager for so long, and he took Everton to Europe. And of course, the Man United spell didn't work out. But nevertheless, I think वो 80 मिनट तक उन लोग गेम में थे. And अगर 1-0 होता रहा, तो I feel that without a Jared Bowen also, just make a point that West Ham weren't without Jared Bowen in this leg. Jared Bowen होता तो वो जो Kudus का जो chance था, वो Bowen को अगर मिलता वो गोल था 100%. I think West Ham really played well, and 2-0 is a bit harsh, but that's how the way goes. And मेरे को लगता है ये टाई भी हुआ नहीं, ये टाई भी जा सकता है एक extended टाई के लिए. And I think that's the maza of this week's European fixture. Like every tie is still very firmly balanced as we go into the second leg, and these are just the quarters. So really excited कि ये game में भी क्या होता है. And of course, this is a potential opponent for either Milan or Roma. Whoever comes through from that tie will face the winner of the Leverkusen West Ham tie. And Roma did face Leverkusen in the semi-finals of Europa League last year. Jose Mourinho played Jose Mourinho and got a 1-0 win across 180 minutes. But yeah, the last game here was Benfica Marseille. Benfica winning 2-1. I just saw the highlights, but Benfica, I think, are slightly clear favorites to progress from this tie, and the winner will face Liverpool or Atalanta. So Europa League was done and dusted, and for me as a Romanista, obviously I'm paying more close attention to the Europa League because we are in the competition. But the Champions League also did not disappoint, and this is the only channel where you will see the Europa League come first, followed by the Champions League. But 3 good games, I would say, very entertaining games. Okay, 4. Even Atletico Dortmund also was a good game. But let's start off with the classic at the Bernabeu between Madrid and City. भाई मतलब वो गेम तो मेरे को लगा था कि बिल्कुल FIFA जैसा ही था, in the sense that there was just end-to-end action, and there were just wonder goals, man. And I have a man crush on Federico Valverde. If I was the sporting director of any football club, I would be wanting Valverde to join my club and eventually lead, become the club captain. He's that freaking good. And his goal was arguably, for me, technically very sound, because that technique of hitting the volley like that first time and putting it to the bottom corner, takes a lot of practice. अपन ने सब ग्राउंड में ट्राई किया है, माँ कसम बोल रहा हूँ, ऐसा जब शॉट मारने आता तो either हम गिर जाते हैं या बॉल कहाँ पे और चला जाता है. But wonder goals from Foden as well, very decent performance, and I think in this case City are slight favorites over Real Madrid. What a game between Arsenal and Bayern Munich as well. I think a lot of people were underestimating Bayern, especially on Twitter. These are not serious fans. I think Bayern in any form are a very very tough opponent, and the game was very open ended, man. And 2-2 all is a good game for a neutral to watch too. हैरी केन को तो मेरे को पता ही था वो गोल तो मारने ही वाला है आर्सेनल के अगेंस्ट it was as simple as that, water is wet, Harry Kane scoring against Arsenal. And even this is evenly poised. Bayern have not been in great form in the league, but in Europe, of course, you can't underestimate him and Thomas Tuchel, because Thomas Tuchel he won the Champions League with Chelsea as well, and he's probably a cup manager more than a league manager. Ironic that his handshake with Conte, another league manager, rather his rival, in that opposite sense, that Conte is better in the league and Tuchel is better in the cup. But anyways, evenly poised still, but Bayern at home on European night are a different beast. Arsenal need to produce their A plus game. Everyone needs to have the game of their lives, because one mistake and Bayern are going to punish you. They have that kind of players. You saw that Leroy Sané's run, यार क्या run था साला. I think बहुत दिन के बाद ऐसे साने को देखा खेलते हुए. And yeah, I think Bayern side favorites here, but not by much, because Arsenal are Arsenal are looking like a different beast this year. Favorites to win the Premier League, and you can't underestimate them on the road as well. So yeah, after those two interesting high-scoring draws, 3-all and 2-all on Tuesday, we had the classic game between PSG and Barca on Wednesday, which also was, it had a lot of dramatic twists and turns. Kylian Mbappe having a quiet game was, I think I didn't expect that to happen, because I think Kylian Mbappe is a big game player. He shows up for these big games, and very, very, I would say, unnatural that he had such a quiet game. But Barca deserved that win. I think they were far superior over PSG, and despite PSG coming back and hitting the post, when they, and at that point they were 2-1 up PSG, they could have gone 3-1 maybe. But kudos to Barca and Xavi, who sort of stayed in the game, absorbed all the pressure, and came back to win 3-2. And again, away goals रहता क्या मजा आता था कि बारसा का 3 away goals रहता था, and I would say that job would have been done, but since no away goals exist anymore, I think PSG are still in this tie, and I'm looking forward to Kylian Mbappe proving his doubters wrong and having a wonderful game at the Camp Nou when we return next week. Barca again slight favorites, but not by much, because PSG, again, I think PSG with Mbappe on song are a different beast. If they play like this, like how they played this Wednesday, I think Barca would be clear favorites to win. But it'll be interesting to see how Luis Enrique returns to the Camp Nou as opposing manager with PSG, and let's see how that happens. And again, I would say Barca favorites, but don't count PSG out yet. And finally, the last game of the Champions League was between Atletico Madrid and Borussia Dortmund. First of all, I'm so happy that Sebastian Haller scored that goal, but typical Atletico performance, and they, in this case, in this tie, I think they're going to be favorites to progress. Dortmund at home is going to be, the atmosphere is going to be electric, and Atletico have these experiences of handling these big games and these stadiums, and going to stadiums and getting a result. And they would be buoyed by that Inter game in the previous round. I think that just showed what Atletico are made of, and how Diego Simeone manages his troops. So Atletico favorites to progress from this tie. There could be a chance that we could see penalties again, maybe in this case, but Atletico still to prevail. But it's going to be a good tie indeed, and I'm so pissed off that साला इतने सारे अच्छे गेम है, and सब साथ में जब kick off होते तो live, you can either you switch from one channel to another, or if you're on streaming, you have your phone and your laptop on. But these are all good games, man, and I think they all deserve a time slot of its own. I think this whole midweek round of European fixtures have been immensely entertaining for football fans all across the world. So yeah, Europa League done and dusted, Champions League done. Just a quick word on the Conference League. My all-Greek final in Greece could still be on, but Aston Villa I think are favorites to win under Unai Emery as well, given his track record, as a manager winning trophies in Europe. So yeah, I mean, I do keep an eye on the UEFA Europa Conference League. But right now, for me, as a Romanista, it's all to do with the second leg back in Rome at the Stadio Olimpico with about 70,000 odd fans, hoping that the Rossi progresses from the quarterfinals and into the semis. That's about it, man. I would really love it if you can leave your thoughts and comments below. And if you can like, share, and subscribe to support this channel, it would be great. I'm a small time creator. It's a big thing for me if you guys hit that subscribe button and share this video with friends. We'll be here again talking about Calcio, about IPL. It's been a while. I've been wanting to do an IPL, and probably we'll do a live with Chintan from Milan, India, before the second leg between Roma and Milan. That's it for me for this video as well. Ajay Menon here, signing off. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy football. Ciao, ciao.